So as people move from around the country, especially retirees, most people do a ballpark estimate on what it costs to live in various areas in various states. Now, costs can swing widely within a city, much less within a state or in the country. So as you do your research, I urge you to go a bit deeper and check out the hidden or true costs of living in any area. So Bankrate.com just put out an article titled "The 5 States with the Highest Hidden Cost of Home Ownership and the 5 Lowest." So let's see what they have to say. Hey, I'm Stephen Kimos, a local realtor specializing in new construction here in beautiful and sunny Port St. Lucie, Florida. Now, first of all, I take issue with the title of the article. The costs they say are hidden weren't all that hidden to me when I was buying. They list things that Bankrate considers hidden, like utilities, energy, property taxes, home insurance, internet and cable. They don't mention CDD or HOA fees. So I get it, you know, some people, they focus on principal and interest and they fail to look at the other costs or just cursory look at the other costs. But that's insulting because most of my clients I deal with are pretty savvy and immediately ask about all those fees. And they've already done a lot of their own research, but I digress a little bit here. So Bankrate.com says homeowners face an average of $21,400 in yearly hidden costs like maintenance and utilities. Now, rising home values and inflation drive up property taxes and insurance premiums. Now, and the Bankrate article says that 42% of homeowners regret unexpected maintenance expenses. Well, doesn't that seem obvious? I mean, who wouldn't regret finding extra fees they weren't expecting? So I guess 50% of people are pretty happy they found hidden costs that they would have to pay for. It just makes little sense. As you know, when you buy your home, your principal and interest payments aren't the only financial burdens you have to deal with. Thousands of so-called hidden costs, come due every year. Now, according to the Bankrate article, which is linked in the description below, by the way, the average homeowner in the U.S. spends that $21,400 on things like maintenance costs like cutting your lawn, bug treatments, which is about $8,800, utilities and energy, which average about $4,500, property taxes, which average about $4,500, insurance, about $2,500, and cable and internet about $1,500. Now, when I add up those not so hidden costs and what I pay in tradition in Port St. Lucie, it's about $18,500 a year. And that includes my HOA and CDD fee, which is kind of included in the Bankrate article and kind of not. For example, my cable and internet, lawn maintenance, bug treatment, security system and monitoring, my pool and gym and the gate are all included in that $420 fee. And my CDD comes in my yearly property taxes. So that's kind of all in there. Oh yeah, and by the way, that $18,500 a year doesn't take into account I pay 0 state income taxes, which for most people is a $2,000 to $4,000 a year savings. So tradition in Port St. Lucie comes out much cheaper than the average cost in the U.S. Now, these so-called hidden costs, which really aren't hidden, have risen in recent years. The report said that home values and inflation have surged. Now, we all know that. Everybody wants their home to increase in value, but higher home values mean increased property taxes and homeowners policies. Now, in the last 5 years, inflation has also reared its ugly head, and it's refusing to recede, causing the cost of everything from construction and home improvement, materials and goods and services and labor to rise 2 to 4%. Now, costs vary from state to state, and in the report, Bankrate compiled the 5 most expensive states and the 5 least expensive states in all the U.S. And all 10 of those cities are listed below in order of their national ranking. Now, their total annual hidden costs are included in the link below, as well as commentary from the author about each state. Now, I thought it was my job to help you research the real cost of living in Port St. Lucie. And I think I did that in that video called The Real Cost of Living in Tradition in Port St. Lucie. Now, in the video, I don't expect you to take my word for it. And so instead, I show you the actual screenshots of my bills, and you can hit pause in the video in any spot and see how much I pay in taxes, CDD fees, HOA, and utilities. Now, my house costs right around $450,000 3 years ago, but you can extrapolate up or down depending on the level of house you're interested in purchasing. Now, without being too pushy, I would say this is one of the most important videos I've ever made, and certainly one of the most watched, so check it out. Now finally, the Bankrate.com article concludes with a list of the 5 states with the highest and lowest hidden costs. So it's probably no surprise to you, but in order here, the most expensive were Hawaii, California, New York and New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Washington State. And that's where a lot of my out-of-state customers come from. Now, the 5 states with the lowest hidden costs are West Virginia, Mississippi, Indiana, Missouri, and Arkansas. Now, my question for you is, would you want to live in one of these least expensive states? Now, don't get me wrong, there are some of the areas in the states are absolutely beautiful, but none of those states are for me. I wish somebody would have wrote an article entitled The 5 Cheapest States You'd Want to Live In, but that article's not out there yet. So where does Florida rank? Well, Florida comes in somewhere in around the 15 range out of 50. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's happening in this state. But thanks for checking out the video, and I hope you found some of the information useful, or at least you got you thinking in order to continue your research further so you can make the best choice you can for your family. And if you want to talk about real estate, contact me. My information is on the screen right here and in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.